Hey guys, so please excuse my dogs in the background. I have kind of been like waffling on making this video just because, one, I don't want drama, but also I feel like there's some things that should be addressed. So like first I wanted to talk about the new Manny MUA palettes that came out, Eternal Eclipse, and it's like sister Strawberry Dream. I have used the Eternal Eclipse palette because I had to do a look for my class, and I loved it, honestly. So I wanted to do a video then, but then of course all this stuff with like Angelika Oles and Smokey Glow started, or rather resurfaced. So I figured I would kill two birds with one stone, do my face and kind of talk about that whole situation. Not actually trying to like get drama or anything. I just kind of wanted to talk about some stuff. So let's do that. So as most of everybody knows, Angelika Oles kind of got into some hot water, and then Smokey Glow kind of followed her into the hot water. So from the perspective of somebody who is just watching from the outside, this is what I understand to have happened. In August, there was that whole situation with Kylie Jenner, and her photoshopped photo saying, you know, brown skinned girl and all that stuff. People were outraged, even though it came out later that she was not the one who had photoshopped it. But people were like, okay, but I would believe that this is something that she would do, because we all know, like, culture vulture and all that stuff. If you don't know what a culture vulture is, it's somebody who steals a culture that is not theirs. That is really disheartening, to tell you the truth. In my opinion, obviously I am Black, and I'm not particularly thrilled about anything that the Jenners do, because I don't think it's fair. In my stage makeup class, we had to talk about, you know, the cultural appropriation behind braids and how sad it is. And it was something that really, I don't want to say opened my eyes, because it's obviously something I've lived with, but it's something that made me even sadder, because like, of course, they have capitalized off of like a culture that is mine. This is like the same situation like when I was in law school. I was basically told that if I continued to wear my hair in a protective style of Senegalese twists, I would be less likely to get jobs. That led to me going with my hair straight until I left law school, which is a different story. But so, you know, culture vulture, brown skinned girl, and all that stuff. And it is my understanding, please correct me if I'm wrong, it is my understanding that Angelika was like, oh, you know, this woman is living rent-free in your minds. She didn't specify like whose minds, but she said this woman is living rent-free in your minds. And I guess you're all a bunch of losers if you allow that to happen. You know, this is kind of how I feel about that situation. I don't really think it's her place to say like who can get upset about what. That being said, we already know who the Jenners are. We really do. And why do we expect accountability from them anymore or ever? Just something to think about. I'm not saying, you know, anyone's right, anyone's wrong, or anything like that. I am saying though, you know, why are we so pressed when we see them doing aggravating things, that's what they do. And they make money off of it. So, you know, maybe we should stop caring, and then maybe, you know, the media and all that stuff wouldn't be focusing on everything they do, and would focus instead on the things that, you know, normal people do. That's good. Not like bad things normal people do. I mean, they should focus on bad things that normal people do, but anyway, so people were very upset because they were like, oh, you know, this is a microaggression. Like, how dare you tell us what we can and can't be upset about? People, it is my understanding that people tried to reach out to her to say, you know, this came off badly. You shouldn't have said this. You are hurting communities of color by your flippancy, and, you know, please recant, or please like explain why you would say that. And she responded by blocking people and not wanting to address it. There's the whole situation with the Twitch stream that her friend had up. Angelika has said that she had been drinking that night, and so she doesn't exactly like remember what happened. But there was a user who had made a comment about, hey, like, can you please address this? Like, people of color are really hurt. And she was removed from the stream. So, you know, not a good look and all that stuff. So let's like fast forward a little bit, because obviously this died down. Let's fast forward to the Smokey Glow collab. Something that's like, that is interesting for me is like, I recently, like, obviously this year with, as we all know, the situation that has been happening, we have been forced to be home, and many of us have turned to things like YouTube. I myself, like, well, I mean, I needed to for my class, post videos and stuff so that my professors could see my voice in action. But also, we've spent a lot of time getting to know influencers and beauty gurus and stuff like that. I've spent a lot of time getting to know people, and so that is how I ended up finding Angelika, and that is how I ended up finding Smokey Glow. And, you know, some of her, I really got into Smokey Glow when she did the Evolution series, specifically with Manny MUA, because I'm not gonna say I'm obsessed with him, because that's creepy, but I enjoy his content. I think he's really fun. And I think he's kind of like what we need during times like this. He has made his fair share of mistakes. But rather than just apologizing, he made an effort to be better, it seems. I reserve the right to recant that statement if things do not look like he is trying to be better, but like from what I can see, he's trying to be better. And, you know, not my place to say whether or not he's like this, that, and the other. I don't know him. I don't know him personally. I don't know him at all. So, you know, do what you do. But, so, you know, I watched that interview and I was like, oh, wow, this is great. Like, I love Manny MUA. Smokey Glow is asking all these, like, really good questions. Why don't I subscribe? And I started hearing some things about how, like, oh, Smokey Glow, Hannah, she's kind of sanctimonious, and she spends a lot of time holding people to a higher standard than other YouTubers. Here's kind of my take on that. I don't think it's a bad thing if you hold people to a higher standard. as long as you're holding yourself to a higher standard. I mean, it's better than going the other way, right? Like holding people to a lower standard than what you are holding yourself to, because if you do that, you're in for a lifetime of misery, let me tell you right now. And so I was just like, oh, okay, like, yeah, she's a little, as I said, sanctimonious, but I'm also trying to come up with a better word. She thinks a lot of herself and her morals and her values, and that's fine as long as she's holding everyone to that standard. When this whole situation broke because of the collaboration that Smokey Glow and Angelika Oles had done, I was kind of like, you know, scrolling Twitter and whatever, and I saw that there was like this huge thing that was happening, and I was like, oh, what's going on? Especially since I had just subscribed to Smokey Glow. I had recently subscribed to Angelika Oles, and I recently unsubscribed from Emily D. Baker. That's like a different situation. I don't want to talk about it right now, but I was like, okay, like, what is going on? Do I just need to like unsubscribe from everybody on YouTube? What is happening? Like, I'm bummed. What's going on? And so I saw Smokey Glow's like original statement, and then I saw the edited statement, and I was like, okay, let me like keep track of what's happening here. Let's just see what Angelika says, because no, it doesn't look good. But you know, I saw Diana's video, and things have not turned out good for her either. You know, and Diana's video basically like talked about the same things that I just went over. And so Angelika released this apology, and cool. From what I understand with this apology situation, she was saying she didn't mean to be microaggressive. She didn't mean to be insensitive to the plight of people of color. The Kardashians aren't really pushed in the UK as much as they are in the States. And so she really didn't understand why everybody was so upset. Like, could be true, could be false, whatever. I mean, I kind of think that as somebody who does have a large audience from the States, as she said she did, I kind of think somebody would kind of have their nose on the dial a little bit more about what's cool to mention, what's not cool to mention. But, you know, this was her apology. This was her saying, you know, she didn't realize, and she handled it badly. She also went on to address the transphobic things that people have accused her of, you know, like, oh, I've never gone out of my way to like misgender people, and I hope people don't believe that of me. And she also said that she is not an anti-Semite because she's Polish. I mean, really all I can say about that is that's kind of like that whole, oh, you know, I can't be racist because I have black friends. I can't be racist because I have like a black cousin-in-law or something. That, I don't really think that's a good excuse, but I understand where she was going with it, but I'm not about to give her like props for that, because yes, you can still be an anti-Semite and be Polish. You can. So after that, she started addressing Hannah Smokey Glow herself, and she was like, you know, she DM'd me when I was sleeping, which, you know, no one's responsible for the time difference except for like the Greenwich people who decided that we should be hours apart. Or, you know, Pangea. Can't really blame Pangea though. So, whatever. So she didn't see the message from Smokey. Which, yeah, I believe that. Like, I have family over in the UK. I have family everywhere. I'm not about to, like, if I do reach out to them, I'm not gonna be like, oh, hey, get back to me immediately because I really need to talk to you, even though it's 2 a.m. over there. So, I'm down for that. The thing that I guess she started, like, really getting in trouble over was, oh, Hannah said she couldn't find any evidence of me being transphobic, but she's gonna run with it anyway. This is like kind of, not even kind of, this is like a big deal because that's, you know, that's something that, why would you say that? Why would you say that you're going to, in effect, like, you know, ruin someone's life because you don't want the tide of public opinion to, like, turn against you. It's fine when we hold people accountable, but let's not, like, go after people for things that they have not done. So at that point, I was, like, firmly on the side of Angelika. I was like, oh gosh, like, this is just, like, no good. I can't believe somebody would do that. Like, I'm just like really sad. I was just really sad. Especially with people who are, you know, relatively unproblematic in the community, with this happening. So that was a bummer. And she said, you know, Smokey Glow accused her of gaslighting and when Angelika called her a sheep because, you know, follow the leader, follow the shepherd and all that stuff. Not the nicest thing she could have said. But, you know, people say things they don't mean in the heat of anger. So I was like, oh, yes, Angelika, you are telling the truth. Absolutely. You're so emotional when you are telling this story. Obviously, I must believe you. But then, okay, so side note, I'm about to go in with Eternal Eclipse. I have already used several of the blues. As I said, I had to do a cabaret for my musical theater workshop. And I really, really, really enjoyed that look. That was actually really pretty. But I think what I would like to go in first with is Storm Cloud in the Strawberry Dream palette, even though I know this is like Eternal Eclipse, but Strawberry Dream palette because, which is right here, because I would like a darker look, I think. So, ooh, wow, pigmented. I love it though, because if it's not pigmented, what's the point in wearing it, right? Something that I really enjoy about these shades, just from like the one time I've worn them before now, is that they show up even on my skin tone. I'm obviously not fair. I'm not even like light. I am decently pigmented, decently melanated. You know, it is what it is. Ooh, let's like deepen that with the Strawberry Moon, which is kind of like this like raspberry color. Oh, that's so pretty. That's so pretty. Oh my god, that's so pretty. But anyway, so Smokey Glow came back with this video last night that I actually sat and I watched. Like, this is really a too long don't watch situation, or too long didn't watch situation. My bad, I'm old. And she you know, refuted pretty much every single one of Angelika's claims. Something that people have been talking about is the fact that Angelika showed receipts for like all the people that she's blocked. She showed receipts for like mostly everything except for the DM that she said went down between her and Hannah. And so people were like, well, why would you show like receipts of everything else but not that? And I was like, I mean, good point, but maybe she just didn't mean to. Smokey Glow didn't show any receipts either. She read off of ooh, let's go in with smoke right here. Kind of like this area. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna see what happens. And ooh, oh my god. Oh my god, look at that. I went in once. I don't know if you can see. I went in one time and like my whole lid is like covered. Oh my god, that's so pretty. Okay. Oh, that's so pretty. That's so pretty. You know, she went in with this whole thing about how she tried to educate Angela, and you know, Smokey Glow kind of imagines herself as a bit of an ally, which is fine if, you know, that's what she wants to do. It's certainly not my responsibility to educate anybody. So I'm glad she decided to do that. I guess my biggest thing is that, like, who cares if you're being called a bad friend? Because that is what this has become. It's not like, oh, I tried to hold Angelika accountable for things and she flipped the script on me, and I am concerned with the fact that she does not seem to want to change her behavior. Therefore, I cannot be associated with her because, like, I just don't like that type of person. That's really not how this whole thing came off. It came off as like, I'm being accused of being a bad friend. Also, by the way, when everybody came for me because I collabed with her is when I realized that this shouldn't have happened, because it was like negatively impacting me, not because the people of color who were hurt by Angelika's actions mentioned that something should be done. I think what I will do is to kind of like, I think I'm gonna dot some of Desert Sky, just like right here, over the lid, just to add a little bit more sparkle. Smoke had a little bit of sparkle in it, but I think I just want to like, I like glitter. I don't like glitter. That's a different story. But you know, I like a little shimmer. Oh, that's pretty. And so I don't care if you're called a bad friend. I've been called a bad friend before, and yeah, it hurts, and it hurts when you're called that on the whole internet. But like, why don't you care about the people who were actually hurt? Okay, yes and yes, that's all I have to say. These are beautiful. And that concludes the review part of of this video. I think about people who are more impacted by the things that the Kardashians did. People who take everything that they say as word. Yes, you are a brown-skinned girl because of this, that, and the other. People who are genetically brown-skinned are not actually brown-skinned. Because let's not forget, like, Kylie Jenner's white. She's white. she doesn't even have the half like Armenian that her older sisters and older brother have. She's white. So like she should not be getting called a brown skinned girl whatsoever. But I you know, I was gonna say I digress, but I don't. I do not digress. Because that's the point. So I mean, at the end of it, I ended up like resubscribing to both of them and refollowing them on Twitter because I do want to know what's happening. But I also just can't believe that, like, aside from Carmageddon and everything that has happened this year, that like we are really making drama over people being friends or not. If they want to be friends, let them be friends. If they don't want to be friends, they don't have to be friends. Like, how does that impact us? It doesn't. And so then Smokey moved on in her video to discuss the issue with 3 very big drama channels: Nick Snyder, Dustin Daly, and Rich Lux. Like, first of all, I need to preface this by saying I don't know a thing about Rich Lux. I've heard things about Rich Lux. I've never watched anything of his except for when he was featured on Nick Snyder's channel. So I have nothing to say about him. I really got into Nick Snyder with Carmageddon this summer. I thought he was entertaining. You know, whatever. And I got into Dustin Daly during the election week. Yo. Oh, that's fun. Okay, that's fun. And he's also from Gastonia, which is like not far away from me. And so I was like, yes, North Carolina, get it, get it. And that was before I found out that, like, you know, people on YouTube consider them to be fairly problematic. I'm not saying that I don't care, but I really don't know enough about the situation except for what Smokey Glow said and what other people have said. Can't talk on it because I don't know. But Smokey Glow discussed how, like, the whole video or the whole party situation in Houston went down from her perspective. She was invited. She was invited publicly, and after her audience heard that she was invited, they were like, oh, don't really know if you really want to do this. Might not be a good look for you because of how problematic Nick Snyder and Dustin Daly have been called. So because this is what she said in her video, she said because she had been asked about it publicly, she needed to respond publicly. After hearing back from her audience, she was like, no, I can't go. I'm busy. She said that, you know, and she also said that this happened like the day before she was meant to go. So, based off of the recent videos that have been made by Dustin Daly and Nick Snyder and all that. Oh no, my blood sugar's dropping. That makes me sad. Nick Snyder said that, like, he wasn't pressed about it except for the fact that she didn't, like, reach out to him personally before saying it publicly. Which is fair. You know, I was raised that if I was gonna decline an invitation, I should let them know. There have been times I have not done that because I'm a coward. That's a different story though. So last night though, Smokey Glow was like, that's not actually what happened. I was like, oh, really? And she was like, oh, well, no, wait, she didn't know that I said really. She said that the situation that happened with Nick Snyder and all them is that they actually reached out, like Nick Snyder, after she declined publicly, reached out to her and was like, hey, like, I'm not upset. The invitation is still open if you want it. And so she was like, okay, it's cool. And then she said, next thing she knew, Petty Page and Rich Lux and all that, and all of them were like getting in this situation. And she was like, okay, but Nick had said that we were cool. Like, I'm confused. And she said that they've basically been after her for a year. It does kind of seem like they're bothered. It's not my problem, but it does kind of seem like they're bothered. I don't know if they're bothered because they really do feel like Smokey Glow has a habit of like being a clout chaser and riding the coattails of bigger channels and then dropping them when she gets where she wants. I don't know. Or if they're just mad about this party. I don't care. Not my business. And so, sorry, this video is like super long. So, you know, she said that's really the deal with them, and that's like kind of what's been going on. And so, like, I don't want to say I don't care. I didn't know that Dustin Daly and Nick Snyder were considered problematic, to be completely honest with you. I didn't know that. I'm not sure if it really matters because the drama channels, people who are drama channels are probably going to be more invested in drama than other people, which is fine. Like, that's their tea, that's their thing. Doesn't affect me, doesn't bother me, I don't care. I mean, if they pull some like racist stuff, which is a different video, or sexist stuff, which is a different video, then we have a problem. Which there have been allegations, like I've actually seen tweets myself of Dustin calling women the B word and stuff. But as I said, that is a different video. So I basically just wanted to make this video to kind of just like ask opinions, I guess. Are you on the side of, are you on Angelika's side? Are you on Smokey's side? Or do you really not care about their friendship, I should say? Because I don't really care about their friendship. You know, whatever becomes of their friendship is up to them. But I care about like the bigger implications of this. We have two white women who got into a tiff because, oh shoot, I think I left the glue on these too long. In case you're wondering, I did leave the glue on for too long. And then like basically a mess of like epic proportions happened, so I ended up having to re-record this part. But I mean, I kind of already said like everything I need to say, except for the fact that like, listen, being black is like awesome, but also not. And I do think that we should be worried about, you know, the implications of the fact that like this started over a white woman who said something she shouldn't have said. Instead of apologizing, she tried to defend herself. And then when her friends started getting backlash for supporting her and doing a collab with her and everything, you know, this whole thing happened. So I'm concerned. I'm a little ticked. but mostly concerned that we're not spending more time discussing like, oh, this is an issue, you know, that we're not like, oh, you know, perhaps we should be focused on the marginalized communities who were negatively impacted by this, and what can we do in the future to make sure that something like this doesn't happen again. I mean, obviously I'm not a YouTuber, right? So I don't really know everything that goes on behind the scenes. I don't know what the real story is with Smokey Glow and Nick Snyder and Dustin Daly. I only know what they told us. And frankly, like, I don't care. Like, we shouldn't care, because like that's their thing. We should care about the content that they bring us. We shouldn't care about when they become the content. I've heard people saying that Nick and Dustin's relationship is not real. More shame for them, right? If it's not, and they're purporting that it is, unless, I mean, like, unless that's like their tea and that's what they want to do and they want to, like, you know, cool, whatever. Fine. I am inclined to believe that it is real because they adopted like a whole dog together. That is a big step. That's not the point here. Let them do what they want to do, and we as like the audiences, we should do what we want to do too. You know, I didn't make this video to start anything. I didn't make this video for drama or anything like that. I made it because, like, as somebody who was impacted by this situation and who is still impacted by this situation, I worry about where this is going in the future. I worry about whether or not we as a society, as like a global society, are taking away from the experiences of people who are disadvantaged. When I say disadvantaged, I mean like not white cis men, so like everybody else. We're taking away from minority experiences because of like a he said, she said, she said, she said drama. Y'all, stop giving Kardashians clicks and likes. They'll go away then. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong for following them, but I'm saying that like when they constantly do things that like piss us off, we should react. We shouldn't just like take it lying down. And I kind of think that's what happened with like Angelika, and I think it just kind of blew out of proportion. Like, anyway though, tell me what you think. The Manny palettes, I love them. They're so pretty. I don't even like, I think they like blend out so well. And I think he like really loves his brand, like for all of his faults in the past. As I said, I'm not holding anybody, like, I am holding people accountable. That was a mistake to like even accidentally say that. I am holding people accountable, but like I wasn't around for Dramageddon 1, so I can't judge him off of something I didn't personally like see. And I mean, even if he turns out to be like the scum of the earth, his palettes are good. And if you want to support good makeup, I did give Lunar Beauty a shot. I don't really know what is stopping you besides like money, which, you know, these are $48 each. I mean, it's better than you get on Amazon, right? Like, I've gotten lots of dupes on Amazon that were like cheap, but the color payoff is like not as great as this. This was like one swipe and it became something beautiful. Like, I don't even think that you could mess up any color combination with these two palettes. Go out, get Eternal Eclipse, get Strawberry Dream, do it now. If you've made it this far in the video, I commend you.